For all your legal matters including immigration, bankruptcy and credit card problems, divorce and family law, landlord and tenant matters, criminal and personal injury, call Gahey & Associates for a free initial personal consultation at 718-263-5999.
जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए, जब कोई मुश्किल आ जाए, तब हम आपका साथ देंगे. Anytime you have a complex immigration matter, remember, मैं हूं ना. Can a green card holder who has a criminal record become an American citizen? This is Attorney Naresh Gahey, and we are going to discuss this issue today. If you have a criminal record, it does not mean that you can never become a citizen. You may have a possibility of becoming an American citizen even if you have a criminal record. For example, if you have a minor criminal record such as shoplifting, which is in a very small amount, if you have a very small DUI or DWI charge, or which is something really petty. For example, you got into a physical altercation which was minor, you may be eligible. So if you have a criminal record and if you're interested in applying for citizenship, call Gahey & Associates at 718-263-5999 for a free initial personal consultation. We handle immigration cases from all over the United States and the world.
Hello there, welcome to another episode of Green Card with Gahey and Shanaz. All your immigration questions, all your green card questions, and you've been getting a lot of calls and a lot of concerns.
So today, Shanaz, based upon the request of your viewers and your fans, we are going to talk about consular denials and fraud waivers. So what does the word consular denial mean and what does a fraud waiver mean? We haven't done this before. It's a very interesting topic. I would say my apologies. It's a very interesting topic, especially because a lot of people, let's talk about Guyana, Trinidad, then let's speak about Suriname, then let's speak about Haiti, let's speak about Jamaica, let's talk about the Caribbean Islands. I think you have a lot of listeners and viewers from the Caribbean Islands on all your shows on 96, then on 77 now. Shanaz is going to be on ITV channel 77 and plus on your radio show.
On the radio, you can watch it 24/7 on ShanazMusicalSensation.com because these are questions and concerns you, the viewers, have out there. So we're trying to utilize all the media form to answer your question because Naresh Gahey's office is free initial personal consultation, and I want that everyone to take advantage of that.
All right. So the thing is that consular denials. Now, what is a consular denial? Let's explain it very slowly to our viewers. Now, you are an American citizen. You sponsored somebody. That can be your mother, can be your father, can be your brother, can be your sister, can be your children under 21, can be your children over 21 who are married, or can be your children who are over 21. Now, suddenly, after you applied, and you waited for this 1 year or you waited for these 5 years, your relative goes to the consulate. And he went to the consulate in Guyana, and that is located in
Georgetown.
Good. So he went to the consulate in Georgetown, and after he went before the consulate has refused the visa. And you're concerned, what happened over here? That's one. You're from Trinidad, and now your relative went to the consulate in the Port of Spain. Next one is on you, for me to test your knowledge. All right? Your relative went to the consulate in Suriname.
Paramaribo.
Yes, you got it right. And he went to the consulate in Paramaribo. Or your relative went to the consulate in Jamaica, and the consulate is in
Kingston, Jamaica.
All right, so you got the consulates correct. So they went for the visa interview, and that interview may be for the green card, maybe for the visitor visa, or maybe for the fiancé visa, or maybe for a student visa. That visa got denied. So that happens a lot, and sometimes the consulate is giving them a document that says that an immigrant visa cannot be granted because you have committed a fraud but you can apply for a fraud waiver.
A fraud waiver.
Yes. So we're going to talk about consular denials, what are your rights, and how you can fight them. So, Mr. X, who is an American citizen, sponsors Miss Y, who's in Guyana, who's his wife. Wife goes for the interview, and the consulate feels that this is not a good marriage. That does not mean that your wife's case is completely dead. You still have rights. You can fight that case, and you will have to prove that your marriage to Miss Y is a bona fide marriage. And if you prove that, your wife can still come to America.
What are some of the proof that they're looking for? Pictures?
That's sometimes what they do, Shanaz, which I've seen now. When you go to the consulate in Guyana, when the person visits inside the room, they're calling them right inside the room, they're investigating them, and they're getting documents signed. So you have to be careful. Let your relative know not to sign any documents. Let them know that you are going to retain a lawyer. Then only you're going to be fine. That's exactly what they're doing. And sometimes you may have all the documents, you may have those pictures, you may have proof to show that you both are interacting with each other, but the consulate suspects the marriage. If that happens, immediately get a lawyer involved. Sometimes what happens is that US citizen spouse sponsors somebody in Guyana. That person lies by stating that they've not applied for a visa before or they've been denied for a visa before. That's a fraud.
Okay, on the paper.
Yes. So that does not mean that it's the end of the case. She may be eligible for a waiver under Section 212 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, and if the waiver is approved, your spouse can come to America.
Wow, that is awesome. What about the consulate, the cases that's held up at the consulate office?
For many years.
Many years.
Yes.
You know, it's very frustrating because,
Very frustrating.
as we know, most of these consulate office is in the center. It's
Right.
in the city. Very busy. You have to take transportation.
Not even busy, but
transportation.
sometimes they sit on those cases for no apparent reason. And you know what people from our communities have done, from the Jamaican community, from the Indian community, from the Caribbean community, from the Trinidadian community, from the Guyanese community. They go to congressmen, they write a letter. That doesn't work at all. Because what happens, they're going to get a standard letter from the congressman stating that your case is pending for a review. Same answer. They say that background checks are pending. That means nothing. There is a way around that.
Okay.
Ready for the great answer?
I am ready for the answer.
So if your relative is stuck in any of these countries, what we have done in these cases, we've taken these cases to federal court.
Federal court.
Yes, that's a high court. When you take it to federal court, it's known as a writ of mandamus in the federal court. You file it, and if your spouse, or if your children, or your mother, or your brother and sister have done nothing wrong, the good news is they should be eligible for a green card in 6 to 8 months if everything goes well. So I've done this many times because, as you rightly said, Shanaz, I've seen people waiting there, spouses waiting there, their lives are destroyed just because they've been waiting there. And people think that there's no hope if the case is with the consulate. That is incorrect. We can take this to the federal court by means of filing a writ of mandamus under 28 USC 1331. You're allowed to file a writ of mandamus wherein you are compelling the government to issue a decision on the case. The decision may work in your favor or not, but if everything is good on the case, your marriage is real, your relationship is real, then definitely you should be getting relief in your favor.
Right. Sometimes they hold back these cases for no apparent reasons, just because it's overworked, like too many cases for the consulate. And when they see a lawyer pick up the case, immediately they start opening and let's see what we could do, right?
Yes, first we write them a letter, you're right, and after that, either they work, if they don't work, we take them to court, right?
Right. When they see legal actions coming, they will start responding to the lawyer's office. Well, that's always good. I like to get, when it comes to immigration, get a legal team that knows what they're doing.
Yes, and as I said, you know what, as I said, even if they deny it, at least you can refile. But what the worst thing is to be kind of in a situation wherein you're in a limbo. A limbo means you're neither here, neither you're there. So best thing is to get an answer and either get to the bottom of your case and call it a day. Now let's talk about some fraud waivers and what I've seen in the past. So there was actually a man that I know, and he actually was from Trinidad.
Okay.
He had applied for a visa in the past, many, many years ago, with a different name. Because it was not his fault. He was kind of fooled by somebody else over there who said, hey, I can help you to get an American visa. And that visa got denied. Then after that, this person got married to someone in America. And when the case came up, the consulate found out that this person had committed a fraud in the past.
Under the first name.
Under the first name.
Okay.
You should always disclose, yes, I've done something wrong in the past. Because the consulate can allow you to apply for a fraud waiver. And the good news is that if a fraud waiver is approved, then you can come here. Have I done this before? I've done this many times. Sometimes you'll need a waiver because you've committed a crime. Because, take an example, even if you committed a crime in Jamaica, in Trinidad, in Guyana, in Suriname, or in Grenada, or if you're a big fan of the following of Shanaz, because she has viewers from everywhere, including India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, everywhere.
Antigua.
Antigua, and even Saint Kitts, Saint Martin,
yes.
and wherever you are, and talk about any island, and she's well known there. So end of the day, even if you committed a crime, disclose it, because there are waivers for crimes, and under Section 212H, H for Holland, of the INA, of the Immigration and Nationality Act, if you can show extreme hardship to your spouse, or to your parent, or to your children, if it's a 212H waiver, H I'm talking about, not the I waiver. I waiver, you cannot show hardship to children. You only have to show hardship to parents and to your spouse who are green card holders or citizens. So, immigration law can be very tricky. And if you can prove extreme hardship, and then after that, the good news is that even if you have a criminal record, if you committed a fraud, depending on the type of fraud, you may be able to come to America.
Wow, it's all about filing the right paperwork.
Yes, and sometimes people, when they get the fraud waiver,
they're frightened by these forms sometimes too.
No, they commit mistakes. I'll tell you what they do. A while ago, in one of the consulates, one of our viewers, who had told me about his story, was that the consulate just gave him a form, told him to just fill out the form and submit it. This man did not know that the consulate meant it in good spirits, that this waiver will be reviewed by people who are on the top. And when the waiver went up, they denied the whole case because he did not write anything properly about the hardship. So preparing the hardship document, can take a lot of time and energy. Like in my case, I've done hardship papers for around 200 pages too.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, you need to make sure that any time, if the consulate is asking you for a waiver, you need to put your best foot forward, make sure that you fire with all your guns, and make sure that you prove extreme hardship. And that's a very high burden to prove. And if you do that, the good news is that your relative who is stuck in Guyana, Trinidad, Suriname, Jamaica, Antigua, Grenada, or Haiti will be able to come to this country. So
it's always good to give them the documents that they need.
The right documents.
The right documents.
Also, plus show that that the person is completely reformed, and the life of the spouse in America will be devastated if the waiver is not granted. That's a lot of work, but that can be done. So what we've done is that also another thing I want you to know is this is very interesting. Sometimes there are people who've lived in America in the past. And then they go back after overstaying the visas. That happens a lot. You came from Guyana, you came on this wonderful 1-year visa, and the thing is that, what he said, I don't care about the 6 months, you stayed here for 2 years. Yeah. Now you went back, and your father's petition has come up over there. Better let the consulate know that you overstayed your visa. You may be eligible for a waiver. If you do not disclose that, you're having 2 problems. He's not going to grant you the unlawful presence waiver. Plus, you committed a fraud by not disclosing this. You have to be careful. Another problem which I've seen, Shanaz, you're going to love this. People come here from our islands, I'm from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, every country they come here. They come on a visitor visa and they work. Then they go back. Then when they come back, CBP is waiting to welcome them. Hello, Mr. Wonderful. Oh, Mr. ABC. Are you that same person who was working for the roadie shop over here? He's wondering, how does he know?
Yeah, how does he know?
So be careful. Be very careful what you're doing. So end of the day, don't travel back and forth too much. And another thing what I've seen, some people will come here for 5 months, they go back, they come back after 2 months again. And the CBP officer is suspecting, why is this man coming here so often?
Right.
Is he working here? You need to understand the mindset at the bottom. That is very, very important. Your visa can be revoked under section 241 of the Act, and you will have a 5-year bar if you are found working in the US without proper authorization. So if you're on a visitor visa here, change your status, get married, or look at other options and get your papers. Don't just be sitting over here and basically violating your status and doing things. It's just going to bite you sooner or later. So just do the right thing. And then again, you're going to see the consulate is not going to give you a visa, and your life can be spoiled completely, and you can be barred from coming to the US.
Wow. Can we apply for a work permit while we're here on vacation or visiting?
If you change your visa status, now take an example. This is such a great example you're talking about. A person came in and seen me. He was a very qualified mechanic in one of the Caribbean islands, and actually in South America. And when he came here, he found a sponsor over here.
Yes.
So if you can find a sponsor over here, and if you're a qualified, skilled person, let the person sponsor you.
Right.
And those things are possible. Speak to the sponsor, you'll be great. Now, I also know of a roadie shop, also know of a mechanic shop, I know also of a restaurant over here. They wanted to sponsor a chef for a green card, a cook from their country. Do you know that restaurant can sponsor anybody if you're showing a decent income? You can sponsor someone from Guyana, Trinidad, or from anywhere except India, because India is backlogged, but I'm talking about the Caribbean islands. That person can come on a green card within 2 years. On a green card.
That is awesome.
Now let's take an example about this. Now you run a mechanical, a body shop, auto body shop here. You know someone in Guyana who's excellent at that. You can directly sponsor that person for a green card. He can be at
to work for you, right?
You have this big business over here, and you know that guy is an accountant. He's really good in Guyana, and he knows about your business very well. You can sponsor him directly for a green card. That door's also open. So if you're a businessman, and if you're in need of someone that you know, and if you're showing a good income, you can sponsor that person for a direct green card in America.
Right.
That's a territory that needs to be explored by your viewers, Shanaz.
Yes, also in the medical field. We had a nurse who came here. She was working on a visa.
Yes.
And then our company actually did the paperwork for her sponsorship because she was a very talented nurse.
Of course. So, if you're a talented nurse, and if you're an accountant, if you're a bookkeeper, if you're a skilled person, or for example, if you're a staff accountant, and if you're a welder, for example, that's another thing which I've seen that's very much in demand. And if you're a skilled person, and you can be a skilled painter, a well-known painter. You can be an interior designer. You need to find a sponsor, and if that sponsor says, yes, I need Mary in this country, and if they have the income, you can be a fashion designer. You can come over here. So end of the day, there are opportunities for you. You need to explore that thing and get going on it.
Today we are filming in Jackson Heights, one of the many offices Mr. Gahey have. I know my favorite is right there on Liberty Avenue, 104th Street and Liberty Avenue. Last week I've seen him on Jamaica Avenue, and today we're in Jackson Heights, the famous Jackson Heights. You're here on Sundays.
It's a 3,000 square feet office.
It is very beautiful office.
Yeah, and we have clients coming here from
Schenectady, Long Island, New Jersey,
Florida.
Florida.
And from Connecticut, actually.
Right. And remember, it's so easy now. You know what I love? When I went to look up Gehi, it says chat on WhatsApp.
Yes.
Instant.
So you can chat with us on WhatsApp. Go to our Facebook. If you are watching Shanaz's show, go on our Facebook and just put in a WhatsApp. We'll get back to you. Just say that you've seen us on Shanaz's show. We'll be happy to work with you. And we also have Zoom meetings now. And Shanaz, the good thing after COVID, I must say, we've started cases from Florida and we've been interacting with
because
people.
of the Zoom and the
everything.
WhatsApp.
So people are not even coming in and seeing us. They're starting cases. And one of them said, "Hey, listen, I got married. Sponsor my wife. Get the paperwork done." Another one said that he had a small criminal record and he wanted us to do the paperwork. We've been doing a lot of citizenships actually. So even if you're a green card holder and if you had a criminal record, it happens. It's life. We are here to work with you. Or if you know your parents or your friends who are not fluent in English, we can work with them. So end of the day, if it's any immigration matter, even if you have been ordered deported, do you know you may still have relief? The prior results do not guarantee future outcome. We cannot win every case, folks, but we can put our best foot forward for you. And I respect all the lawyers that I've met over the years, because you know what, no one is perfect. All the lawyers do a great job, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that it's for you to judge as to whom you want to go with. But wherever you are, make sure that you check the credentials of the lawyer. Make sure that you go with a highly experienced lawyer. Make sure that you have the comfort level. And remember one thing, nobody in the world can win every case, but at the end of the day, you can always put your best foot forward and try to do the best for your client.
Attorney Naresh Gehi, when it comes to all your immigration questions, there is someone in his office ready to take your call. So call him today.
And our numbers are 718-263-5999 and our website is gehilaw.com, gehilaw.com, and this is the Jackson Heights office. And remember, our favorite offices are very close to you on Liberty Avenue, 10405 Liberty Avenue, Ozone Park, New York, 718-577-0711. And don't forget our Jamaica office. There's a lot of people from Queens Village, from Jamaica, from the Van Wyck neighborhood, and from Queens Village right up to Rosedale and Long Island and Schenectady and other places, Schenectady and all. They come into our office in Jamaica, and the number there is 718-764-6911. And even if you're coming from out of town, we are open on Saturdays and Sundays, especially for people who are coming from New Jersey, Schenectady, Florida, Connecticut, New York, Washington DC, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and all other places.
So guys, call him today and make that appointment. Come in here to Mr. Naresh Gehi's office, Gehi and Associate, as it says on the wall.
And we'll be back again with our viewers with some more news from the world of law. Shanaz and Gehi on Green Card with Gehi. Thank you for watching. And as I said, get the legal knowledge, get your paperwork done, make sure you're legal. If you're not a green card holder, get your green card. If you're not a citizen, become a citizen as soon as possible. Prior results do not guarantee future outcome. The Instant program is an attorney advertisement under the laws of the state of New York. Can a green card holder who has a criminal record become an American citizen? This is attorney Naresh Gehi, and we are going to discuss this issue today. If you have a criminal record, it does not mean that you can never become a citizen. You may have a possibility of becoming an American citizen even if you have a criminal record. For example, if you have a minor criminal record such as shoplifting, which is in a very small amount, if you have a very small DUI or DWI charge, or which is something really petty. For example, you got into a physical altercation which was minor, you may be eligible. So if you have a criminal record and if you're interested in applying for citizenship, call Gehi and Associates at 718-263-5999 for a free initial personal consultation. We handle immigration cases from all over the United States and the world.
Hey guys, welcome to Shanaz Musical Sensation. Beautiful sunny day in homeland Guyana. We are in Georgetown by the seawall enjoying the view. That's right. It could be quite hectic driving in Georgetown, but It's good and relaxing by the seawall. So let's go and enjoy the view of the seawall. And as I could see, a lot of fishes in the river right here. I believe there are 4 fish. So let's go take a look. Thank you for being part of Shanaz Musical Sensation, homeland Guyana. Enjoy. You're watching Shanaz Musical Sensation on the famous John from Queens YouTube channel. Continue supporting our #1 YouTuber, John from Queens. I'm yours truly, Shanaz Hussein.